All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center. Digital meteorologist Bobby Corser with you here. Obviously, we are talking about snow. We have seen some snow showers already in Eugene. Places south of Eugene and the higher hills are already picking up some stuff, and of course, we're seeing it in the Cascades. So I'm just going to go over and show you some maps and show you some of the things that we're thinking about and some of the signs that we're seeing that could lead to maybe a chance of some valley snow, albeit light, throughout the course of this week. So we'll head out first, of course, into downtown right now, where it is nice and balmy. We're sitting already at 44 degrees in downtown Portland right now. South wind, that's something that we're going to keep an eye on. It is incredibly difficult to get snow in the Willamette Valley when we have a south wind. That is going to be the case as we go forward the rest of the day. We finally just had a cold front move through this morning. We are under the warm front aspect of that, and now everything is kind of shifted off to the east, so we are now in the cold sector. We'll look at the satellite here in just a second. I'll show you what we're seeing when it comes to what's going on out there right now. So 44 out there right now. Look at the temperature changes. Last 24 hours, 3 degrees cooler in Vancouver and Portland, 5 degrees cooler in Salem. You're definitely noticing out on the coast, 9 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago out in Tillamook. And don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder or see a flash of lightning out on the coast. Cold air that's moving its way in is very dynamic today. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has us just under a general risk of thunderstorms, nothing severe, but something to just kind of keep an eye on. So we're seeing that with the cold air starting to make its way in. It's warmer east side. Obviously, Redmond is 8 degrees warmer. Pendleton just a few degrees cooler, but that air that's coming through, and look at this, numbers just updated. So Redmond is now just 2 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago, not 8 degrees warmer. So that's what we're looking at here. Here's the radar. We talked about that cold front moving through earlier today. This is the remnants of it as it's making its way still through the Cascades, dumping a lot of snow at Government Camp, and then you see the second wave now, which is that colder air, and we talked about the chance of thunderstorms. That's making its way now into the Willamette Valley. We did not see a lot of rain on the west side this morning. I don't believe Hillsborough picked up any precipitation at all. That cold front kind of started out from Florence to Corvallis, through Staten up to Government Camp, and it never really impacted the west side of the Portland metro area, so we will start to get those showers now. We're going to pause the radar real quick, and I'm going to put this into analysis mode, and that's what we're looking at with that. We'll turn this here, zoom in a little bit. Live radar on 24 on a stream is a lot of fun, so zoom in here real quick. Sorry about that. But we're going to look here, and we're going to take a look at 12-hour snow accumulation. So this is what our models are saying based on what the radar has seen. So Government Camp up to Hood River and then down toward Detroit Lake. We'll just kind of click around here and just see what the totals are that we have seen today. Come on. There we go. Just about 2 inches at Government Camp, and this is the last 12 hours. Now, we've seen more than that for 24 hours, and I'll show you that here. Here's the 24, and we click around again, another 2 inches. Seeing some more snow when it comes to just south of Government Camp and just around the Mount Hood Peak. I'll zoom in a little bit. About 3 inches of timberline, and we saw about another 3 inches just on the north side of the mountain. So it is starting to pick up some snow. This is the least amount that we will see actually fall over the next 96 hours. We're looking at multiple feet of snow coming to the Cascades, and of course that's great news for a bleak snowpack. You know, we are still sitting at the worst that we have been at this date since they started keeping records back in 1981. So we're just about an inch below in terms of the snow water equivalent. We will catch up, though, by the time we reach Thursday and Friday. So back to our graphics, and we are looking at, like I said, radar, new showers coming in. But after the showers come in, we're talking about watches and warnings. We have a winter weather advisory all the way up now. This has been extended to Friday. This was initially issued yesterday, and that was going to go through Thursday, but now through 4 a.m. on Friday. So again, thinking anywhere above 2,000 feet, we're thinking 8 to 16 to maybe even 24 inches of snow. Some of the heaviest stuff that's going to come in on Tuesday and Wednesday could bump that number up, and so we will continue to watch that. But this is for all areas basically above 1,000 feet. It goes up into Clark County and Cowlitz County as well, parts of Skamania County. And then all through the Cascades, the foothills. The east side of the Cascades, this will drop away later today. but we still see the coast range now comes into play. When we get into the models here in a few minutes, I'll look at that and I'll show you that to what we're seeing. So again, this still exists for the next few days through 4 a.m. We think really kind of everything tapers off by the time we get to Thursday. Here's your morning satellite loop area low pressure that came up. That is what brought the cold front in with it. That's now crossing over Portland. All the speckled clouds out here, that is cold air. And that is what is going to bring the cold air in aloft, and that's going to settle on top of us. And this is what's going to help drive that snow level from about 2,000 feet now down to about 1,000 feet this afternoon, and eventually about 500 feet overnight. So if you wake up in the next few days, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and you are under heavy shower on the valley floor, you could see snow in the air. Right now, we don't think it's going to accumulate. We think temperatures just on the surface are a little bit too warm, maybe 34, 35 degrees. You're going to see snow in the air. We call it conversational snow. Everybody sees it. It's great for photos. It doesn't impact the commute, which is great. So if you're a snow lover like me, I love conversational snow. I love accumulating snow, but I will take that. Over my shoulder, you see what's going on at Timberline Lodge, or sorry, the road up to Timberline. That is finally starting to clear out this afternoon. It was snow covered on Highway 26 most of the day, but as that snow is now ending, people are able to make it their way through the pass. I'm going to log into Facebook real quick because I know that some of you guys were asking comments, and so we'll get into what we are going to be seeing here in the next few days. All right. Well, we'll go over to Facebook or YouTube instead, and we'll check there. But we're looking at the satellite map again. Cold air coming in behind it. This is what's going to drive down those snow levels to about 500 feet. This is the classic Portland snow setup. This is not what we're looking at this week, but this is for those of you that are new to the area or just want the refresher. If you really want big snow in Portland, you got to have cold air east of the Cascades. You need it in Madras. You need it out past Bend up to Pendleton and Yakima. You want this area of cold air to be in place, and then you need an area of low pressure to move in off the coast. When that happens, this cold air starts to flow through the gorge. And we know we get that ripping east wind out at Troutdale, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And all that cold air gets deposited out over the city of Portland, and that warm air comes in over top of it, drops all of that precip, and it falls the snow, and that's where we get our classic Portland snow setup. Unfortunately, this is not that time. We're looking at a northwest flow with all that cold air coming in. It can drive the snow level down under the heaviest showers, but unfortunately, this is not the setup we're looking for this week. Could be in the future, but not this week particularly. So let's take a look and dive into some of the model data here. This is your hour by hour. Again, this afternoon, cold front's making its way through, still some snow in the Cascades. Put the map into motion again. More showers come through. Starting to get some snow now in the coast range tonight at around 9:30. This makes its way into the Cascades overnight into tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, again, more showers, more snow showers in the coast range and the Cascades. Just rain for us here in the Willamette Valley. Another shot of moisture comes in, and this is where I think is going to be interesting for Wednesday into Thursday. This could be our best shot at low elevation snow for everybody, but the conditions have to be just right. There is an area of low pressure that's going to come in off the coast. If it stays north of us, there's no snow on the valley. We'll still see it in the hills, but nothing on the valley floor. If it comes in over top of us or to our south, we have a better chance of seeing a little bit of sticking snow on the valley floor. So that is wait and see. If we were to get snow sticking to the valley floor, I think it'd be Wednesday night into Thursday. Again, another area of showers just spinning in. Here comes Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Again, showers in the Willamette Valley, snow in the Coast Range, and snow in the Cascades. This continues through Friday, and then we finally start to kind of dry it out Friday afternoon into Saturday. So once we get into that point, I think our shots of snow, especially in the valley, are done. But we need to watch and see what's going to happen Wednesday and Thursday. So here's your mountain snow forecast. I'm just going to let this run. This is going to go all the way into Tuesday and then into Wednesday. And then eventually it's going to stop here Wednesday afternoon. 5.5 inches at Government Camp to come. 4.5, just over 4.5 at Mount Jefferson. 5.5 at Santa Ana Pass. 2.1 in Willamette. Not worried about snow in the valley. This model is looking at temperatures, thinking it's going to go all the way to the valley floor. It's not. But there is snow in the Coast Range. We do want to point that out. 3, 4, 5 inches in some of the highest passes. So please be careful if you are going to the coast over the next few days, be aware that you could see some snow and some significant snow in the Coast Range. So mountain snow we're worried about, again, another 5, 6, 7, 8 inches through Wednesday, and then we're going to get more on Thursday. This is the European model. And again, this is just a bunch of different numbers that we're cranking out. We're not necessarily looking at this as what is going to happen. We're just trying to figure out how cold we're going to get. This model does say that Portland would get a little bit of sticking snow early on Wednesday. A lot of snow up in the Cascades and the foothills. Again, we're looking at 6, 7, 8 inches around Detroit up to Government Camp. And then out along the Oregon coast, it's saying a lot of snow. We think it's still too warm, but we wanted to show this just so you guys are aware that some models are saying we have a slight chance of seeing some snow. Again, I'm going to discount anything in Willamette Valley. If we were to look at the temperature variation of this model, temperatures still say we're at 34, 35, 36 degrees, just a little bit too warm to support sticking snow. This is our in-house model. Let's go forward through Thursday. Now, again, we're discounting this as we get into Friday. Not going to happen. This is our in-house model. This is the Baron 3K. This is our high-resolution model that we have access to here at the station. Again, we really think that Government Camp's going to see at least 5 inches. Hood River might get into the act. If they get a little bit of cold air coming through the gorge, they could see some snow. Vancouver, Portland, Hillsborough, all less than an inch. Again, we think it's just a few degrees too warm. This is a very borderline. This is a very tricky forecast. If that low that I talked about is going to come in south of Portland, we could see a little bit of sticking snow all the way to the valley floor. Again, current track has it going to the north of us, which is an absolute no-go for valley snow. It's just too warm at the surface. But again, Cascades are going to get hit, and again, the Coast Range. So this is what we're really pointing out. We think the elevation here is really important. I'm going to actually go into this map, and we're going to go kind of frame by frame so you guys can see it. And what we're looking at when we click into this, and again, this is now this afternoon right now, about 12:30, the next couple minutes. We're going to advance this through tonight. Okay, again, discount what they're saying with Portland and Hillsborough seeing any snow. We know that's not going to happen, but again, it's elevation driven. We're seeing this, again, this matches very closely with what the National Weather Service has up in terms of their winter weather advisory. It's all elevation driven. Same thing out here in the Coast Range. You're seeing rates about an inch, maybe total in the highest peaks. Again, Highway 26, Highway 30, as you're making your way out to the coast, could see snow tonight and could see snow the next few days. It advances into Tuesday. We'll stop it tomorrow afternoon, just about 2:30. Again, we think it's too warm for snow on the valley floor. The West Hills, though, could see a slushy mix or a little bit of accumulated snow. It would melt off in the early afternoon once the sun kind of gets up and things get going. Those temperatures do rebound relatively quickly up in the West Hills. You'll get just above freezing. So again, Cascade event, Coast Range seeing more snow. And then I will show you this as we do go forward. We were talking about Thursday. So this is what we're looking at. Wednesday night into Thursday morning is really that next onslaught, that really big push. Another foot up at Government Camp. That's very impressive for this time of year, and again, it will help with the snowpack. 3.1 inches on Hood River. This is saying maybe an inch for Hillsborough, Portland, and McMinnville, and then Portland would maybe have half an inch. This model interprets that low going to the south of us. So if that were the case, we could get some brief sticking snow all the way down to the valley floor. Right now, though, it's still spotty at best. If it was more of a continual shadow or a continual pattern of like precip coming in, I would be more apt to say, yeah, we probably would see more of a snow event coming on Thursday. Right now, again, everything is spotty in nature. So Portland could maybe even get half an inch. But 2 neighborhoods over, a shower never goes over, and there's nothing. It's just cold. So we're watching this very closely. A lot of people are asking, well, what about my location? Where are we going forward? Well, let's look at that. Again, we have lots of elevations in town, right? We all know that there are tons of different places around the metro area where people are trying to, figure out where they are, how high up they are. Well, here's your elevation map. So again, let's talk about 500 feet. That's where we think the snow level is going to come down each morning. So Council Crest is at 1,100 feet. The zoo is at 600 feet. Happy Valley, top of those hills, 500 feet as well. Corbett, 670. Sandy, 900. Estacada, 515. Camas, Prune Hill, 750. Once you get up in the battleground of Hawkinson up there, you have some hills that are above 500 feet. Only thing in the metro area above 500 feet is the West Hills. Again, the Oregon Zoo, up through Council Crest, and then you get up into the spottier hilltops here, and you're at 1,000, 1,500 feet. So those are the areas that we would likely see the most sticking snow over the next 96 hours. Downtown, 45 feet, Vancouver's 100 feet, Beaverton 195, depending on where you're at, Hillsborough 205, Forest Grove. Forest Grove does get to kind of climb quickly once you get west of the city, so just be aware of that. You would be in that 500-foot zone. So if you live out on the west side of Washington County, you could see some snow over the next few days. But again, 500 feet, we're just looking at the Zoo, Council Crest, and some of the higher spots around town. If we were to get snow all the way down to the valley floor, everybody's in play for that. So just to quickly summarize what we're looking at. Again, best shot of any potential sticking snow in Portland would come most likely Wednesday night into Thursday night. All depends on, of course, that track of the low. If it goes to the north of us, no snow. If it comes in over top of us or comes into our south, a better chance of sticking snow all the way to the ground. The caveat is, as we've said, everything is very spotty in nature. There's no solid preset band that's going to sit over top of us that would help kind of push that snow level all the way to the ground. So we kind of have to just wait and see. If we were to get that, I think we would have better shots of sticking snow all the way down to the valley floor. I think with just spotty showers, not likely, even though snow level will be 500 feet. Let's talk about the snow level at 500 feet real quick. Any of us could wake up the next few days. Like I said, if you live at 500 feet or above, you'll most likely see a slushy mix up to 1,000 feet. And then above 1,000 feet, you're going to see likely significant snow. Any snow shower that's moving through can pull enough cold air and push the snow level to the ground. We talked about conversational snow. That's what's happening with that. We don't see that happening a whole lot, but it can happen under heavy showers. It's not going to accumulate. It won't stick on the roads. It's just too warm. You might get a little bit, like say in a bark dust area. And again, most of the stuff is going to be elevation driven, so that's why we're saying 500 feet. We just think the surface is a little too bit warm, or a little too warm to support sticking snow on the valley floor. Continue to watch it. I'm going to be here this afternoon. Dave's in. Of course, we've got Rhonda tomorrow morning. She's in at 4:30. Team of reporters ready to go in the event we do get snow across the metro area. It's one of those weeks where we're just watching and waiting. Models have been hinting at a pattern change for the last 6 days, and actually a little bit back to now about 10 days. It's finally here. We're colder. We talked about that map where our temperatures are down almost 10 degrees, 24-hour difference from yesterday to today. We'll continue to see that. Temperatures today aren't going to get out of the mid-40s. Pull up your 7 days so you guys can see that as well. And once we get into your 7-day, find it. Here we go. Oops, sorry about that. Not what we're looking for. Here we go. So here's your 7-day right now. Again, 46 degrees today, temperatures mid-40s. We're cooling it off the next couple days. AM snow chances, again, 500 feet and above. You could see a snow shower down to the valley floor, but it won't stick. Lows overnights barely flirt with freezing. We could maybe see a little bit Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. That's our best shot of temperatures really kind of drying out and being cold enough to support snow on the valley floor. But again, sun showers and rain mixed depending on where you're at. Lowest elevations of the valley, you're looking at rain. 500 feet above, most likely snow. 1,000 feet up, definitely snow. And then if you're in the Cascades, you're going to see a dumping of snow, which is great. We are so desperately in need of snowpack. But the rest of your 7-day looks great. We are under the Storm Tracker weather alert through Friday. Saturday, we'd finally dry out. We might actually dry out a little bit halfway through Friday. Rhonda and I were going back and forth on that today, trying to figure out where that was. We think maybe late Friday, early Saturday. But we dry out temperatures now back up above the mid-40s and the upper 40s. Again, temperatures on the low side. And then once we get to Sunday, by that time, our snow chances are done, except in the Cascades. All rain back here in the valley, temperatures in the mid-50s. As we go forward, once we get out of your Sunday and then start next work week, so a week from now, again, temperatures up into the lower 50s. Hope you guys are enjoying these looks into the forecast. Apologize, my voice is getting a little raspy. We're going to be here throughout the day. If you guys have any questions, hit us up on Facebook. Let us know. You can find my email address in our weather stories. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll be happy to answer anything as we go forward over the next few days. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in here on K2.com, on our YouTube page and our Facebook page, and we will talk to you guys here in a little bit.